Normally when I live stream and do my videos, you guys normally see this desk right here behind me. This desk is the desk I use to build my sets to live stream on. In my normal videos, you normally see me sitting at this desk behind me with this in the background. But most of the time, only during my live streams do you guys see what's above me. That is my main display for all of my sets. But up here is a figure display that a lot of people love pointing out. This whole display right here is actually two displays stacked on top of each other. The bottom is Jedi and Sith, and the top is superhero and villains. But that's two different videos, and I'm mainly a Star Wars channel, so I'm gonna show off just the Star Wars display today. First figure on display all the way on the end is classic OG Yoda. I think if there's any Yoda you're going to put on the display, it's going to be this one, just for the pure classic that is the complete saga. I then have Mace Windu sitting next to him, which I believe this is the variant from the Palpatine's Arrest. You'll see other Palpatine's Arrest figures here, but personally I think I might actually change this one for the one that came in the Republic fighter tank with the Clone Wars armor, because I do think that might be the best Windu we've gotten. After that, we gotta put Palpatine there. You know what? It makes sense putting him next to our boy Mace, because Mace is basically the person who almost took him out. But you gotta put him next to the person who actually took him out. And while it's not my only Vader on the display, it's a Vader that has a lot of purpose for many people. This is the Chrome Darth Vader. And as you can see, it does have that shine, but you can also see a little bit of nicks, a little bit of tears. It's a damaged version. I got this for like 20 bucks. And in my case, I personally do not mind it being that damaged, because when you put it a little distance back and you see it on the display, you kind of just go, wow, Chrome Vader, that looks nice. So that's my thing. When it's on the display all the way up in the air, you can't really tell that the Chrome Vader is a damaged boy. But speaking of damaged boys, I gotta put an Anakin Skywalker on here. And I do believe this is the one from the Palpatine Arrest. I think the reason I like this one so much is for a while there, it's the only one that we had of Revenge of the Sith Anakin that didn't really have tattered clothes in the new style. So I thought, yeah, obvious choice. Next one is Farm Boy Luke. There's definitely been better Lukes. I should replace it. Actually, give me 1 second. I'm replacing it live. Farm Boy Luke, outdated. Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi, the best Star Wars movie of all time. Yeah, this version from, I believe this was the Sarlacc pit and Skiff. I decided right up in the front, that's where Baby Yoda's gonna be, because I'm not putting a special space just for Baby Yoda. So you know what? Putting him in Luke's hands, that's fair. Now that the main ones are out the way, we got a bunch of Old Republic figures on the right side of the display. So I have the Jedi Counselor, which is a beautiful figure, very similar to Luminara, but the nice white cloak just looks very beautiful on this figure. And the green double-sided lightsaber, love it. So right up in the front. The next one is another dual-bladed demon, Satel Shan. Probably one of the most famous Jedis from the Old Republic, even if you're just talking Lego or just in general. I think she is very iconic with the dual-bladed blue saber. But now up in the front with a very expensive figure, I didn't realize the price until recently. What a beautiful Zabrak figure. I don't remember his exact name. I know he has one, but he's just a Jedi Master that looks insanely cool. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, Old Republic figure, next to some of the people on the end. Now for the three main Sith, this is Malik. Definitely goated figure. Buying the R2 specifically for this, I still kind of regret, because I should have just bought this separately, because that R2 is just sitting in a bag. I don't like that R2. But a figure I absolutely adore. I ended up finding the head and the legs and the cape somewhere. I forgot what it was. I think this was like a lot or something my uncle gave me. I ended up brick linking the chest piece and the torso, and I got the whole figure for like 15 bucks basically. So crazy luck for me to get this bad boy. One of my favorite Siths ever. Just a super iconic figure I'm happy to have right up in the front. But now for what I think is the most expensive figure in this, Darth Revan. Beauty. Absolute beauty. I put a purple saber on him because that's just lore accurate for Revan. So love that figure, absolutely adore it. Black cape. I had two of them, but I traded one up for which is now my most expensive figure in my collection, a Deadpool Duck Comic-Con figure. And you know what? Valid. I get 2 super exclusive figures now instead of just having a duplicate. But now we're gonna snake draft, because up on the other side I have a custom Darth Talon that isn't official Lego. It's the only one that's not on official Lego here, but I just love the way it looks. I don't really care if the quality's kind of bad and it doesn't like play great. It looks really well, and I love the printing. And like, is it dual molded, or is it, you know, it's just printed on black? But it looks good for printed on black, so I don't really mind put it with the other Old Republic stuff. And that's the one thing about this display. It's just my favorites in particular, and a decent variety of the figures that exist. I try to keep only like 1 or 2 of every single character, including Sith Assassin, another Old Republic figure that is very nice. Love the 2 lightsabers. The black hilt's a little rare. Beautiful mask inside of the red hood. So love that figure. But now for 2 customs in a row. This is one I commonly get talked about. This Maris Brood printed on official Lego. She's one of the figures that when they released that Force Unleashed set, they should have dropped this girl with it. She had such an important part to play. But you know what? I love it. I'm so happy I own this figure. It's one of my favorite customs, if not my favorite custom I own. Right next to it is another Peak custom. Great printing all around this. Shock T from the Force Unleashed, just sitting right next to her Apprentice. I think that's a must-have. I have the official Shock T up above, but if you guys couldn't get that, I do think this is a great alternative. Speaking of the Force Unleashed, you gotta have Galen Merrick, Starkiller himself. I'm so happy about the Rogue Shadow when I did. What an absolute Peak set with Peak figures. Even though the only thing exclusive about him is his torso. And then finally ending our Force Unleashed little lineup we got right there, the Damaged Darth Vader. Amazing figure. Everyone knows this one. And yeah, it's an absolute classic. The just broken down mask, broken down body armor, just arms and legs sticking out. Great figure. But who is our main man Vader sitting next to? None other than his master himself, Sidious. Golden saber to it. I think this is the one from the Death Star. I could be mistaken. It's that or his shuttle. So had to put a Sidious up on the display. Now on to the Inquisitor lines. This is the one from the Ahsoka show. Beautiful armor, beautiful back piece, but one of the more boring Inquisitors in my opinion, especially because there's no face to him. I say that because I completely lied, because I think she is the most boring Inquisitor. I don't really mind her character too much, but she is an official figure that is unique. That's kind of how the display goes, so she deserves a spot. Then the third brother, this is the one from that ATT. This is the classic one that I bought all the way back in the day. So yeah, love to see it. Glad that I own him. I have the other one somewhere stored in a bin, even though I think it is a better figure, but this one, yeah, just because of its classic and the fact that who he's sitting next to is also a classic as well. Because next to him is the Grand Inquisitor, and it's the one with the helmet. Yeah, no, the helmet itself makes this guy the one that you should be putting on your display if you have both the Grand Inquisitors. Beautiful figure, absolute classic. And then sitting next to him is the last custom you'll see. Yet another Inquisitor. I forget exactly which one this is, but the fact of the matter is the ending of that Rebels season where Maul takes this guy out, Maul and Ahsoka, one of the best scenes in all of Star Wars, one of the best episodes in all of Star Wars, so gotta give this guy a little bit of love. And I was a little surprised they added like a special custom mold for both the hilts, the one on his back and the one that's in his hand, so shout out to the custom maker for that. But who in Star Wars deals with the Inquisitors more than our boy Cal Kestis, the official Cal Kestis? I honestly would have put the pauldron on this guy if it wasn't for the special Qui-Gon that had the pauldron, and like that version of him for me is like $100 figure, so I keep that there. Honestly, I should put that one on the display instead of the Qui-Gon I own. But next to him is 2 more Ahsoka figures. Balin, forget his last name. Beautiful figure, and I put custom orange lightsabers because I bought a couple in the past, and I'm just upset they didn't actually give him an orange saber, especially since like the new Rebuild the Galaxies give orange sabers. So you know what, glad I got Balin, glad I put an orange saber on him. And then next to him is his apprentice and one of the best girls in all of Star Wars. Not my favorite female character, just best girl because she best girl. Shin Hati, beautiful figure. Wish it, does it have back printing? It does. Yeah, no, great figure, great like apprentice little ponytail. And then, of course, custom orange saber, because they both got orange sabers. And they should be next to Ahsoka, but I think it's better to put Plo Koon there than next to Ahsoka, because I think Plo Koon's little connection to Ahsoka is one of the best. Of course, once I get the new microfighter, old Plo Koon's going and new Plo Koon's hopping on the plate. And now we have Ahsoka, the Ahsoka from Season 3. I have all versions of Ahsoka. They're just elsewhere. And I put a short blue lightsaber, which I think that's the reason why she's there, because this is the only variant that uses the blue sabers. And I like the fact that there is a shorter blue blade. I forget where I got it from, but lore accurate Ahsoka. I think all Ahsoka should come with a shorter blade. Of course, next to Ahsoka is the Rebels crew. I don't got dark-haired Kanan, but I got the masked Kanan from the set that came with Thrawn. I think the Phantom too, right? Beautiful figure, and I understand why a lot of people have been hyping this one up in recent years. And even though there's multiple versions of Ezra, I'm gonna put the classic one next to Kanan, because that's who trained him. So I'm gonna have him in his form when he was trained, not the new older version. Then he would be next to Ahsoka or other people. Then next to him is another Jedi apprentice, this guy. I forget his name, but he's Kit Fisto's apprentice. Not that special of a figure, but he exists. I'm a little shocked that he got a figure. But of course, next to him is his master, Kit Fisto, a basic figure. I do think Kit Fisto does need an upgrade, because he was only released, what, 2 or 3 times, and they all look like this. So who else to put next to Kit Fisto other than his local Palpatine's arrest figures? Sausage Tin, not the Clone Wars version. I think I might. Does he have a Clone Wars version? I don't know. But I don't have that version. I think this is the better version, so why bother? Then next to him, the brother, Agent Kolar, who is known for nothing else than trying to arrest Palpatine and dying immediately. But next to him, at the edge of the row, Pong Krell, one of the best figures they have made for LEGO Star Wars. 4 arms, 4 sabers, 4 blades. Beautiful figure, beautiful head mold. I think it's one of the best alien head molds LEGO Star Wars has ever made. Then next to him is the GOAT himself, Coleman Trebor, a guy who got shot down and never sliced anything with his saber other than like maybe a battle droid. But again, great head mold, love it, happy to own him. He's pretty expensive though for how useless of a character he is. And Adiguli, I think that's her name. I got this for like a pretty cool deal on an Instagram auction. Like, I think it was like less than $15. Beautiful headpiece. Love the eyes on this one. Just great figure all around. Next to her is big controversial himself, Ki-Adi-Mundi. Everyone changed his age and they blew up. This is the one from that battle pack, I think. And whatever. I'll probably maybe change it with the new one whenever I get like a 50% off Juggernaut. Speaking of turbo tanks, I got Quinlan Voss next to him. Absolute GOAT. Honestly, I should put him next to Ventress, but I think it makes more sense where he's placed, because he's placed next to Luminara, which is one of my favorite Jedi figures LEGO has ever made. Beautiful face print, beautiful head garb, beautiful torso and leg design. Love this figure. But who else to go next to Luminara than her apprentice Barriss Offee, who yeah, I have her displayed differently because she's the only Jedi I own, I think maybe the only one ever, who doesn't have regular leg pieces and has this, like the robes. I don't think any other Jedi has robes. And then I got Big Man right here, whose name's actually slipping me. I know he's a council member. I know they helped him escape prison after he was tortured. Amazing print with the eye and the scar that goes right down it. But I wish I could say his name right now, but it's slipping my mind. I know it. Once you say it to me, I'll know it, but he's there. Next to him is another master. This is our boy Qui-Gon, which I think this is the one from the Darth Maul battle, which shouldn't surprise you too much because I have Obi-Wan right next to him. But now when we get to the top, it's a little bit confusing. I got Snoke, but I think it's just because I couldn't figure out where to put the sequel characters, especially since there is not many Force users. Next to that is Force Awakens Rey. Nothing too crazy there, but Rey exists, and I put her in actually 2 versions of her on this display. But between the 2 versions, you gotta put Kylo Ren. Absolute GOAT, one of the best, I think probably the best sequel character. And yeah, I put this version of him with the, I believe Force Awakens without the helmet broken. Then I got Rey, Rise of Skywalker Rey with the yellow lightsaber. Again, I had a yellow lightsaber around, so I said, yeah, let's do it. Next to her, I think this is the second to last custom I own, Mara Jade. great, goated, classic Star Wars character. If you know her, you know her. That's elite ball knowledge right there. So, of course, I had to have a Mara Jade, especially when the custom was this good. Then next to her was Ayla Secura, great figure from that fighter tank. And I didn't even really realize it before. There is printing on her pants. I'm very curious to see how much they change between this version and the Federation, the MTT that's coming out. And now we had the custom. We have to have the official Shock D. Not the most interesting figure. I'm a little upset that there's a little bit of wear on the head tails, but oh well, still a great figure. Next to her is an exclusive Jedi from one of my favorite sets ever, the Republic Frigate. We got Eithkoth. Nothing special of a character. Nice, ugly Clone Wars face, but yeah, no, he deserves a spot. Now tell me if I'm wrong. This guy might be the newest addition. This classic goat. I don't know. I forgot his name because he helped Grogu escape the Jedi Temple. Then of course I have to fit the gunship character somewhere. Episode 2 Obi-Wan. I think Obi-Wan and Anakin deserve as many variations as possible. So yeah, Episode 2 Obi-Wan for sure. Followed straight up by Episode 2 Anakin. Love this figure. Great hair piece for him. Looks super accurate. Padawan ponytail right down the front torso. Beautiful figure. Now on to a little stretch of Siths. I got Ventress. I have both versions of Ventress. Soon have all three. But I thought the fact that I still had this frayed waistcloth from my OG gunship that I had as a kid, I said, yeah, no, she's got to be there. And then next to her is her Master Dooku. This is the classic Episode 2-1 from the Battle with Yoda. Lovely set, lovely figure. So happy I own this. Followed up by Maul in the figure version from when he dueled Ahsoka. I think it just makes sense having him next to Dooku, and especially because of who he's next to as well. Because he's next to his brother Savage Opress, which, oh, I'm so happy my mom bought me a set as a kid with the Ventress and Obi-Wan. What an absolute peak set. Now, I don't know where his lightsaber went, but I gotta put Robot Leg Maul on this display as well. The body print's great. The head print. Oh, it doesn't even want to focus. It's so ugly. Yeah, look at that. Look at that ugly mug. One of my favorite characters ever in fiction got done dirty like that. But them legs, that torso, perfect. Speaking of ugly mugs, Clone Wars Dooku, great figure. It's probably one of my favorite Clone Wars versions of the faces. So yeah, no, definitely great figure. Love the curved saber. And surprisingly, it's not the last Dooku you see. Because now for the rest of the display, you're going to have a bunch of classic figures. I have classic Obi-Wan up there. I have classic Qui-Gon, but I don't have him on display just because of space. Because right next to him, of course, I had to put classic Maul. Just one saber, the one from the little fight. There's no need to try to put another dual saber on it. I think it's cool, kind of mirroring that final scene between the two of them where they both have one saber fighting each other before he gets cut in half. Then what's a Lego Star Wars display without the classic Vader? Lovely figure. Lovely. Oh, wait. Really? Did the OGest of OG Vaders not have a face underneath? Because if so, then super accurate. If not, I shall change it. Tell me in the comments. But next to him, you gotta have Old Ben. Old Ben loses his life to Vader, so put him next to him. Next to some of these old school original trilogy characters, then the yellow skin Palpatine. I'm so upset I don't have this classic design with the gray skin, but one day I'll get that figure. One day. And then, finally, the last Dooku. Classic Dooku. A great version of the classic figure. I kind of wish we had a version where it's this face with the regular flesh tone skin. I think that'd be like super goated. And now for the last custom and an interesting figure. This is a pad printed Vader torso. That's the unofficial Lego with the OG print. But this helmet is the helmet that like was leaked out the factory. So all official pieces, just pure red Vader. Slightly custom, slightly official. I mess with it. Then we gotta put our boy classic Luke Skywalker up there. Return of the Jedi version. Love to see it. Then another goat, and you can tell that this is the old one because of old gray. Issue is, yeah, and that tends to happen with the old figures. But hey, I got a classic Jedi Bob. I don't really care. And then ending it off, our boy Nubs. love the head mold on this. Love the meme that's been created in me and my friends' community. So had to put our boy up there. So with over a decade of collecting, I do think I have amassed a pretty solid Jedi and Sith collection. Mind you, this isn't the only ones I got. I got some other figures elsewhere, some in a bin. But I wanted to give love to at least like one version of most of the figures. Tell me if there's any Jedi and Sith I'm missing that I should replace. You know, there's 2 Reys, multiple Vader, multiple Dooku. I can fit them there. So let me know what you think I missed. But personally, over 15, 20 years of collecting, I'm happy with what I got there. Shout out to my 2 channel members, Oscom Cope and Gil Collects. If you want your name at the end of all these videos, I will always shout out my channel members because I'll appreciate you guys for every little bit of support that you give me. So like and subscribe, do all this stuff, and I'm out. Peace.